Hello and welcome to Transitional Artists, and I'm starting this video series on YouTube to start a dialogue about artists and how we react to the information coming out from all the science organizations around the world about fossil fuels and climate change. And I would like it to be a dialogue about how that affects you as an artist or a dancer, musician, poet, writer, any of the arts, sculpture, and if that changes how you want to make art. And if so, how are you doing that? And I think the dialogue about transitional society is a really good one because it reacts to this information without assuming there's going to be some great invention that's going to save us all, or that we're going to crash into a wall and everything will collapse. Both of those are obviously valid options, but I think it's good for human beings on this planet to talk about the possibility of transitioning our society from what we have now to something else before those things happen. So with that in mind, I think this conversation immediately leads into people who are doing eco art and land art, that sort of thing, people who write songs about the current situation and that sort of thing. So I'd love to hear more about that, and I will be presenting stuff like that on this video series. And coincidentally, today there was something that happened in the news with Greenpeace, and they created a message next to the Nazca lines. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. They're in Peru, in southern Peru, and it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And it's those lines that are very large, and you can see them from the air, of birds and things like that. And Greenpeace put a message right next to that, and it says, "Time for change, the future is renewable," with their logo, Greenpeace, in really bright letters. And also so you could see it from the sky. And apparently it damaged the site. But I'd like to know what people think about that. What kind of art is valid when you're approaching such devastating news about fossil fuels and CO2 being emitted into the atmosphere, which could, in fact, devastate our entire society? Is it valid to do things like that, or was that just a pure act of vandalism? So I'm not sure what my thoughts are on that. I obviously don't think that it's good to destroy beautiful things like that. On the other hand, if there's no one around to see them, if society collapses, then I think that's probably what they were thinking, and in their zeal they took off with it. Anyway, I will continue on with this. I'd like to hear about different supplies that you may be using that don't use fossil fuels. Where is your art leading you, knowing the information coming out from all the scientific communities around the world? And I also put up a blog on WordPress called Transitional Artists, and I'll be linking information in there too. I set up Twitter. I've never used Twitter, and I don't see the point of it. And in a way, I'll end it here, I do realize the use of YouTube and all these computers and cameras and stuff is in is in itself using fossil fuels. And so I definitely want to approach that. At how far do we go with this conversation, and at what point are we just trapped in a loop that we can't get out of? Or is there a gradual progression to another place where we're not using all this stuff? And most importantly, artists often lead the way in culture and society, much like science. Artists can lead the conversation. And that's what I'm interested in. And and all the contradictions are going to be there, and believe me, I am totally copping to the fact that I use fossil fuels. I'm not being judgmental or a saint about this. I am very interested in, as an artist, how we use our art to transition into something else, whatever that may be. Okay, thanks, and I hope you subscribe and do comment, and I'll talk to you later.